Very soon, we will know the MLB The Show 24 cover athlete, and speculation about this within the community has really picked up recently. So I want to go over when we should expect SDS to announce the MLB The Show 24 cover athlete, which, like I said, is coming very, very soon. And then I also want to go over some possible options for cover athletes, and at the end of the video, I'll give you a couple guys who I think are the favorites to be on the cover. And for everything MLB The Show 24, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button to the channel. Very, very soon, we're going to be getting lots of information about the new game, and I'm really looking forward to making a lot of videos about all of that news once it drops. So if we think about when SDS might announce the MLB The Show 24 cover athlete, let's think back to the last couple of years. So MLB 22 cover athlete was announced on January 31st, and the MLB The Show 23 cover athlete, Jazz Chisholm, was announced on January 30th. So I would assume, because the last couple of years have basically been announced on the same exact day, that this year is no different. It's going to be a similar time, and I would have to guess that just sometime between Friday, January 26th, and Friday, February 2nd, we will hear who the MLB The Show 24 cover athlete is. And as of now, nothing is official. I'm just giving you guys my best guess for what I think. And also keep in mind that last year, I think it was a week before the actual reveal, they actually tweeted out, this is the day that we're doing the announcement. It was like, January 23rd or something like that. So literally within a couple weeks, we could get that tweet where, SDS gives us a heads up as far as when we should expect the cover reveal. And if we're thinking about who might be the cover athlete for this year's game, we have to remember that MLB The Show cover athletes typically are not the best players in the MLB that end up getting it. Over the last 5 to 6 years, we have seen a lot of young and up-and-coming stars get the cover, like Jazz last year. We saw Fernando Tatis in 21. We saw Aaron Judge in 2008. Javi Baez, maybe a little more established at the time he got it, but again, young and exciting players have been the recipe for cover athletes as of recent. So with that being said, I want to go over some possible candidates. Who could we see on the cover of this year's game? Let's start off with who people probably think is the favorite to be on the cover, and that is Ronald Acuna. Just a monster season from him this year. The 40-70 season really, captures it all. He, arguably the best player in the league probably was this year, and would definitely deserve it. I wouldn't have any complaints with that. Exciting player for sure. J-Rod, another one who was one of the favorites last year, but ended up obviously not getting it. He's a possible option as well. If we're thinking about other maybe younger players, Julio would fit that. Also, another player that would fit that would be, and he might be getting overlooked a little bit, but Vlad Guerrero Jr. I think from a marketing perspective, this would make a lot of sense, right? I mean, the name is really all you need. And then you could even have like his dad on the cover with him or something like that. Just from a marketing perspective, I think this would actually make more sense than maybe what a lot of people might think. He's an option. We also have World Series MVP Corey Seager. He would be an option as well. His teammate Adolis Garcia, could be he kind of made a name for himself in the postseason run. He could be an option too. And then also some sneaky ones that maybe not everyone's thinking about. Jose Ramirez and Ozzie Albies did visit SDS last year at one point, so maybe that was a little hint, that at least maybe one of them would be the cover athlete. I believe Jazz actually had connections with SDS before he actually got on the cover last year. So if J-Ram and Ozzie Albies, both have this connection as well, one of them could very well get the cover, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. So Jose Ramirez, Ozzie Albies, some options that, maybe not everyone's thinking about, but I do think there's a real chance that one of those two guys could get it. And if we go back to what I was saying earlier about young up-and-coming stars getting the cover athlete, I think Adley Rutschman's another option right here. He obviously fits that mold for the Orioles right there, and, I wouldn't be shocked to see Adley on the cover. Another one that might fit that criteria would be Elly De La Cruz. Now, I know he did struggle down the stretch of the season this past year for the Reds, but in terms of young, exciting, easy to market stars, that's Elly De La Cruz, and he's going to be a stud. He will be, he's just getting started. He's 21 years old, so Elly De La Cruz definitely an option right there. And then Corbin Carroll, I think this is another. He made a name for himself in the postseason, leading the Diamondbacks to the World Series, and I think that helps with the casual fan, right? A lot of people are going to know him by now, and I think, again, he just fits that mold. I could definitely see Corbin Carroll, getting that cover. Lastly, a couple other options would be Juan Soto. Now he's on the Yankees. You know, obviously the big offseason trade happened about a month ago or whenever that was. And yeah, I mean, pinstripes, Juan Soto, I could see it right there. He has not gotten it so far. And then another option, I think you just have to mention Mookie because he's a stud. And I think at this point, he is one of the more well-known MLB players. Also, the Dodgers, him being on the Dodgers is great from a marketing perspective, in my opinion. It just brings more eyeballs to the cover, to the game, all of that kind of thing. So Mookie might make sense. Also, one more thing I want to mention is just Trout. Obviously, he has not been on a cover of MLB The Show before, and actually heard that he has a deal with a mobile baseball game. I think this is true, that basically they have his rights, so he can't be on a cover of the show. But my point is, this dude at some point, we just need to find a way for this guy to be on a cover because it's just not going to feel right if he retires and Trout has never been on a cover of a game. But now I want to give you guys my top 3 most likely candidates to be on the cover and also my selection for who I think is going to be on the cover as well. And first off, let's start with one of the candidates in the top 3, and that is Ronald Acuna. I just think with his incredible season, just a really easy guy to market your game around, in my opinion. Super exciting player, right? A lot to be excited about with Acuna. Could definitely see that. Also, the combination of J-Ram and Ozzie Albies, I could definitely see, and the main reason being, like I said before, them having the connection to SDS already, like Jazz had the prior year, and we know that they've spent time inside the building at SDS, so I think this absolutely helps their chances. But then, lastly, the third option is a young and up-and-coming star, showed it off in the postseason, the World Series, Corbin Carroll. And I think this past year really helped people get more familiar with him. He's just such an electric and exciting player, and I think fits the mold of some of these past cover athletes, like we've seen with Tatis, with Baez, this past year with Jazz. But if I had to pick one of these guys to be on the cover of MLB The Show 24, it's tough because I do want to pick Acuna, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick J-Ram. I just think Jose Ramirez has the advantage of having the connection with SDS. He's been inside that building. He knows the people at SDS. So I think that gives him an advantage and ultimately will give him the cover athlete. I'm not going to be mad at all with Acuna. I would be really happy if it was Acuna. But I just think they normally don't, like I said a couple times previously, they normally don't pick the best player in the game to be on the cover. So that's why I kind of went away from Acuna, but we'll see. But leave a comment with who you guys think will be the cover athlete of MLB The Show 24. I'm curious to hear who you guys think it'll be, but I appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching this one. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.